Hey, how we doing today? My name is Eric, and I try to do a weekday discussion, and that goes out first thing in the morning, and then a little prompt like how-to stuff. And today I thought I'd talk about sales. I mean, if you're in a retail setting, and this goes for any business, but in our line of work, you have folks that are floor planning. So they have equipment, lawn and garden equipment. Everything is there. Choices for the customers and stuff. But when it comes to the actual sale, how is that happening? So we'll go into that next. Okay, so when it comes to sales, we all know as consumers as well, you know, and I equate that to like you go to a car dealership, and next thing you know, you got salespeople right up on your face, trying to get you to buy. And for me, that's an instant turn off. See, people tend to spend money when they feel good, all right? And going into any retail setting, most people are somewhat tense because they're worried that salesperson is going to be right in their face and trying to get them to buy stuff that they don't need or don't want. So just looking at ourselves, I mean, how do we want to, as consumers, as customers, be dealt with? We don't want pushy salespeople. So that's one thing that you don't want to be if you're in retail is pushy. And you don't want canned responses, to try to talk to a customer. How's the weather out there? Da-da-da. These are what I call talking points, canned responses from salespeople. They practice this all day. You want to know what the best salespeople do? They treat their customers as friends. They aren't trying to sell anything. And when it comes down to that, if they're not trying to sell anything, it takes the weight off their shoulders or your shoulders if you're the salesperson, and creates a dialogue. Now, just be where you can be asked questions, whether you're working redoing shelving or what have you. My son, he did really well as a car salesperson. And I asked him, I said, how do you do it? He said, well, when I see a customer show up, I just simply walk out. I give him my business card, tell him if there's anything I can do for him, just let me know. Look at everything we have here, and if you have any questions after you leave, my cell phone number is right on there. He had a business cell phone. And call me anytime. And where he made a lot of customers was he did the extras. He didn't try to put somebody that couldn't afford a $60,000 vehicle into a $60,000 vehicle. He knew what their budgets were. He asked a lot of questions. And it was on the end of the deal is where he really shined. And that was the follow-up. Even during COVID, he would take, and customers could buy from him over the phone. They could come look at the vehicles, tell him what he want. He'd run all the information, and then he would drive that vehicle out. He would sanitize it, and then swap plates from the one car to the other car, and then drive that vehicle back to the lot that was the trade-in. He was available 7 days a week to his customer base. And those customers would get a hold of him first before they even went and looked at vehicles to see what he thought. He wasn't a pushy salesperson. You don't have to be a pushy salesperson to be really good at sales. You have to be just the opposite. Take the weight off your shoulders. And I know it's hard sometimes because a lot of salespeople are paid on commission. But just think about how you would like to be treated as a customer. And then try that. Talk to your customers like they're your friends. And that's how we do it here at this shop. My customers are my friends. New customers are just new friends I haven't met yet, that I will. And I am interested in their family and what's going on. And if one's having an issue, we talk. And there's no pressure. There's no strings attached, no nothing. That's how you make sales. And the thing you have to remember is that there's basically 3 different types of customers. Right? You got the first type of customers that aren't interested in sales, on promotionals and all the other stuff. They know what they want. They're willing to pay full price to get what they want. And they're thrilled with that. So that comes to the 80-20 rule, that the 20%, the 2 out of 10 people, 2 of those folks are going to be willing to pay full retail. They're happy with you. They're happy with what they got. They're thrilled. But those 2 people out of your 10 will end up buying 70 to 80% of your inventory. Yes, the 20% of your customers are the ones that make up the bulk of your sales. So that's group 1. Group 2 is the gotta have deals. I gotta have a deal or I'm not buying. They can't wait for sales and markdowns and clearances because they have to walk away thinking that they got a good deal on stuff. So those customers, if you're doing floor planning and stuff where you have lawnmowers, they're going to wait until the end of the season when you start dropping the prices on your riding lawnmowers so you don't have to carry them through the winter, and they're going to buy then. So that's group 2. And then you have group 3, which make up bulk of your customers walking in and out of the door. They're window shopping. Good chances are they aren't going to buy anything from you, and they're not worth wasting the time on. You have to have different sales approaches to all 3 customers. The biggest thing I tell people when it comes to sales, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, is providing a solution. And how I do it is I listen to the customer. I first ask them, how can I help you? And then I listen to what I ask them, what are you going to be doing with this piece of equipment? What do you hope to accomplish? And is it going to be big enough to accomplish what you want? Or is it too small? Or do you need attachments to accomplish that same goal? I don't try to sell a customer something they don't need, even though doing so would give me a higher commission. Because then it's going to bite you in the backside, all right? Because that customer is going to get home and then they're going to start looking at the stuff that you peddled them and wish that they hadn't have bought it. And that's the worst thing, because those customers are going to tell everybody in their neighborhood that, you didn't have a good feeling after the sale. The key is those folks that you sell to have to feel good about what they got, how they got it, and the people that helped them get it. That's it. So if you're a salesperson out there and you're looking to try to sell somebody a riding lawnmower, and what they really need is just to push more because it only takes 5 minutes. They got such a tiny yard. But the push mower is not going to get you much for commission, whereas the rider will. I mean, to try to sell that person a riding lawnmower that you just go forward, back up twice, and you have his yard mowed is crazy. You have to listen. Okay? And then sometimes the customer doesn't really know what they want. They just know what they want to use it for. And those are the questions you need to be asking. You know, what are you going to be doing with it? How big is your yard? How big is your garden? How, you know. And then fit them to what their needs are and not what your needs are. What I find with most most salespeople is they don't listen. They're already coming out they're thinking about what they're going to say next instead of zipping it and listening to their customer. You know, because that's what these sales teams are taught. And I'm telling you, ditch it all. You know, there's like a few years back, I listened to a sales video on how to get more sales. And the guy said you keep bothering people, and usually it's after the 6th or 7th time you've pestered them that they finally give in and you get the sale. That's asinine. Don't follow that logic. The best advice I can give you as a salesperson is to hopefully, one, know or have your boss or the owner not put undue stress onto you to have to peddle equipment. Listen to your customers. Find out what their needs are. Do the extra after the sale that went above and beyond what a customer would wish. I know with my son, if he was in with a lawnmower repair business and stuff like that, he would, after the sale, even though it wasn't part of the deal, he would go home and get a trailer and borrow mine, and he would deliver the lawnmower to the residence. No questions asked. But guess who they called the next time they needed a piece of equipment or a new riding lawnmower? You got it. So 20% of your customers are going to equate to 80% of your sales during the year of inventory. 20% of those customers, the next group of customers, are the ones that are bargain hunting. And you have to tailor your sales and your promotionals and stuff to them, not group one, because group one is willing to pay full value. No problem. And they're buying 80% of your inventory. So those are the first ones you need to concentrate on. The second ones are bargain hunters. They can't buy anything unless it's on clearance, you know, marked down, deep discounted, this and that. And that's going to be part of group two. And then you have group three that's just window shopping. Now, never rule out group three that they may be a good customer in the future. But at the point that they're at right now, they're just looking, you know. And each group of your customers has to be dealt with differently. That's what I'm trying to get across. But if you learn anything from this video and you're in sales, is treat your customers like you would your friends. Listen to your customers. Zip it. And don't be sitting there thinking about what you're going to say next. You need to develop good listening skills if you want to be a good salesperson. And then lastly, it's what's after the sale that's going to separate you from all these other salespeople. Because most salespeople, after they got you on the hook and they got your money, they're on to the next customer. And you're no longer valued to them because they already made the sale. Where my son and I, we are the type that we value those customers well after the sale. And I want to know if they're having problems with that mower or weed eater or what have you. Okay, on that, that's how your sales should be tailored and how your approaches to your customers should be done. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, and if you could, share it with other people so that we can grow the channel here. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them. And maybe you guys out there, because I know we have a wealth of information amongst this group of how you pitch and how you do sales on a regular basis. All right, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.